All right, then let's try this one more time. I don't know what the hell happened there, but let's go ahead and get into it. Guys, what is going on? This is your boy Narik Chasing. In this video, we are going to be continuing what I just did before the video got cut off. We're going to be talking about ideas for a great and awesome Godzilla video game. It would be pretty cool for me to be able to put the little pictures and the video footage and stuff up, but due to all the stuff that I have going on right at this time, I really don't have the time, which is why I haven't been doing my reviews like I usually do. But I got a whole catalog of videos that I've already shot. Just getting to the point of actually being able to do it is just pretty time consuming. But I thank you guys for your patience with the channel, and I really appreciate you guys for sticking with me on this, because yes, I have not been able to just upload videos like I said I would, which I'm going to be working on that. But things are a bit chaotic, not only growing the business, the Narik Chase brand, with all the stuff that I have to do, but also dealing with, you know, switching over to a different job and stuff like that. So there's a lot that's going on, and we're definitely going to be attempting to get back on the right track concerning the videos in this channel. But we thank you guys for staying tuned. We thank you for watching, sharing, subscribing, liking. We just thank you guys for just the interactions that we had, and I really appreciate those people that go out of their way to actually leave a comment, because it does show me that you are watching the videos and taking in consideration the things that I say and feel the need to respond. So you guys are fucking awesome too. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, as I was saying before the video feed got cut off and everything, we're going to be talking about a Godzilla game. And for those who don't know, Godzilla is a kaiju, which is basically a giant monster. Now, the explosion of the genre, the kaiju genre, actually came about in about the 1950s with the Godzilla and Gamera and King Kong. So there was, and they weren't the first giant monsters, but they pretty much were the prominent ones that pretty much brought us into the era of kaiju. So, and the Godzilla franchise has been extensive. There have been shit tons of movies. I think it's like 30 movies or something at this point. Maybe it's like something like 20 to 30 movies. In fact, I think it's like 30 something movies at this point. There have been a ton of games. There's been a television show. There's been a reboot, another reboot. There's just been a lot of books. There's just a lot of content when it comes to the kaiju genre, specifically the Godzilla franchise, which has definitely inspired many others that have come out as well. So we have a lot to thank for when it comes to the this Godzilla franchise. Like I said, he is the only one. You got Gamera, and you have King Kong, you have a few others as well. So, but there's a lot that's going on with this franchise, and it's good to see that it has pushed itself today, because it's actually one of the longest running franchises, which is absolutely freaking awesome. Now, the inspiration from this video actually came from Angry Joe, which, shout out to him. The dude's fucking awesome. He's hilarious, he's entertaining, and I really enjoy his content. Guys, you guys should go check him out if you don't know who he is. He's a pretty awesome guy. But he was reviewing the Godzilla game, and I think it was the last Godzilla game that came out, but I'm not totally sure. And while he was reviewing, I was watching, I was like, you know, I can understand some of the points he's saying. I can see a couple of things he didn't address. I'm like, you know what, I always come up with ideas for video games and movies and stuff, so why not do one for a Godzilla game as well? Now, honestly, it's been a while since I played a Godzilla game. From the stuff that I've seen, the video footage, you know, the gameplays and stuff like that, they aren't really that good. I mean, there's a gem here and there that are okay and passable, but like as an actual like pretty cool game, it's not like the most memorable or anything. So let's just go ahead and talk about a Godzilla game. Now, what do we want from a Godzilla game? It needs to be the question, because I'm still kind of on the telltale train where it comes to good storytelling, and I don't want to see. I'm on the fence about it, because there's two ways a Godzilla game could go. There's a game where you can actually play as the King of the Monsters, or there's a game you can play involving the King of the Monsters. Now, there's a difference between the two. A story where you play as the King of the Monsters is basically what you've been getting for a while now. You have Godzilla having to fight the military and fighting the monsters and ultimate destruction and stuff like that, and which is cool. Which is cool. It is cool, but I think we do. But I think it would be a way to actually tell a compelling story if we change the gears up and play the game involving Godzilla, but not directly controlling the character. Now, what do I mean when I say that? I mean we follow human protagonists in the world where kaiju are actual threat. And I really don't want, and I've never liked this. I've never liked the point of saying the point that Godzilla is technically a good guy. No, because Godzilla is technically an animal, so it really can't. There is no like affiliation. It's actually like a damn animal. It's just a giant. I don't know what the hell it is. Dinosaur. Some people, it could be a dinosaur, a prehistoric titan, or a mutated lizard. Which the mutated lizard thing was just really dumb, but I don't understand how the hell you mutate or listen to that, but alright, cool. But I think the game should be changed into both of those. But we are going to go down both of those lines of thought. First, if we're going to talk about playing the Godzilla game where you're actually controlling Godzilla and you're destroying stuff and you're fighting monsters and stuff, there's a couple of points that we should break out so that way the game could actually be pretty good. Me personally, I think if we have a Godzilla game, I think that the game itself should be pretty much a large open world. And I'm always harping on open world games, but this seems like a pretty good idea. For the size of Godzilla, I think the open world should be like something like Just Cause 2. I think that'll totally work. Now you can say, hey, that's a lot of content you're trying to put to the game. You got to think about frame rates and loading and stuff like that. And I can understand that, but unlike Just Cause 2, you won't feel the need to be all into the details of things as long as provided you can see it looks good from the standpoint of Godzilla. It's not like you're actually going through the forest, so you don't need to see the heavy details of the forest floor or anything like that. You don't need to see the details of characters and stuff like that, the NPCs or the actual, the heavily detailed signs or something like that, because you're actually controlling a giant creature. What you should be worried about more is actually the width and the height, just a large environment in which you can actually be able to explore. And I think that's one of the best things that they could do with a game like this. Why not have that? Why not have a large, exceptionally large island? Like Zach said, if they even took Just Cause 2 and just made that like the battleground for like a blueprint for a Godzilla game, I think that would actually work. It's a fucking large ass game, and not only is it large, it's very diverse, and that's what we should see from a Godzilla game. It shouldn't be a point where, okay, there's a creature and it's like all of the fights and stuff happening like a city, and it's like a sectioned out city. I don't want to see that. I want to see a large open world where Godzilla can just transfers the different environments. I think that'll be awesome. What if you could actually get off the island, go in the water, swim around, see this underwater world? That'll be freaking awesome as well. Now I can understand you can put like a barrier around it, so you can't go too far or something like that. But I think that'll be freaking awesome. I actually wouldn't mind if it was actually to the point of, okay, when you're on the island, cool, but then you get into like deep water or something like that. It'd be awesome. Okay, throw a loading screen right there, but then make it like a transition to the water world. In the water world, where Godzilla can not only walk around, but it can swim, even have combat, and then be able to explore this immersive and just large and just extremely just great water environment. So I think that'd be awesome as well. I think that's the way that we should be going when it comes to the next Godzilla game. Kaiju battles are definitely a must, and of course environmental destruction. I think in terms of the kaiju battles, I think that they should be the kaiju battles should be as diverse as they are as the creatures. So if you have a water creature, you don't want to see this water creature fighting in the damn city. You don't want to see this monster fighting in the desert. You want to see a water creature like a giant lobster or something fight Godzilla in the water. It could be in the deep water, which I wouldn't mind actually, and or it could be like in like kind of like the open water part of the island before you get to the deep water. So like the shallowish water, because to us be deep water, but to Godzilla be really shallow. But I think that would be pretty cool as well if you could just like battle certain creatures in their type of environment, which I think is freaking awesome. Or say Mothra would be able to fly It can actually fight in like a mountainous region, which or you can have them fight like in the forest or something. Like I don't want to see Mothra fighting over freaking water, because it has to be in a position like if it goes down, how's them get out the water? So I think that'll be pretty cool as well. King Ghidorah, you know what I'm saying? Have it fighting in like some mountains or something like that. No, not really mountains, because it's a very large creature with wings, so it wouldn't really matter. And it's really large, bigger than Mothra. So I probably have that creature like fighting in like some plateau-ish type area or something. But you know, you get the gist of what I am saying. I think that they should focus on the large environments, and in those large environments, have those creatures have specific areas that they thrive in, and also have creatures be able to migrate to other areas that it makes sense for them to migrate on. So you have a lot of land-based creatures. Why not have those creatures, like the creatures that normally be in the desert, let them chill in the desert? The creatures that be in forests, but they can actually kind of deal with the mountains, let them migrate between the two. Have creatures fight over specific territories, or even allow like areas where you get to witness the military actually fighting off the creatures. Now, the one thing I want to say about the military before I go into the environmental destruction, I want the military to be fucking relevant in this game. I don't want them to be on the defensive. Yes, these are giant creatures, but at this point in time, 50 years later, and these kaijus have been just, in fact, 70 years later, 60 years later, you know, these creatures have been just destroying shit for that long, and humans have had that long of an interaction between the characters. Why the hell not have, at this point, develops more unique weapons to actually defend yourselves with? Them actually makes sense. Have like a bunker buster type missile that actually does heavy damage to these creatures. Some creatures will be more affected by certain things than others. Like if you have creatures with like a hard, really hard exoskeleton, or a really thick hide, which technically they all would have thick hides because they're so large. Yes, some weapons would work against them that others wouldn't. So I think I want to see the military actually do the same thing. Have areas like military bases or something where the creatures can decide if they want to attack. That'd be pretty cool. But that's where the military is at its best. It has its most best and effective weapons. You can't fuck with them. So I want to see that as well. But I also want to see like creatures migrating around the island and stuff. Like do like a King of All Monsters 2 or something like that. Have something draw all of these monsters to this island, and it's up to not only Godzilla but also the military to help to defend. So that's one of the things. LG account. Oh, okay. So I looked at my phone. But anyways, yeah, I want to see creatures be able to have migratory patterns and environments that they can deal with, be able to impede on each other's environments and have battles, and you can even fucking watch these battles. Now, the creatures don't necessarily have to actually die or kill each other, but enough to draw them out, increasing their own territory. And the thing about this too, there's a ton of monsters. Now, which monsters should be brought into the fray? That's something for later on, I guess I'll talk about. But have the military be as much of a presence as these different kaiju, and not just like cannon fodder, not just these little flies and bees that could just swipe aside. That's one thing I can't stand about these older movies, is because at this point kaiju have been jumping on the scene for years. They should have been developed stuff to actually stop them. And I can understand if it's a problem if they're new creatures, but they're reoccurring creatures such as Godzilla. There's no reason they shouldn't have a weapon for them. But also, let's get into the environmental destruction. Hell, I want to see in the middle of fights and attacks and stuff, I want to see trees get ripped up and stuff like that. I want to see some boulders get smashed. Look, I don't want the whole mountain to be like torn down. I don't want all of the fucking city destroyed or anything like that. But I would like to, if we run through a city, you can destroy it. You know what I'm saying? That you can destroy it for the most part. Now, if you're thinking about rebuilding it or something like that, I don't know. Me personally, I think that it should be, if you go into the city and you destroy the city, it's destroyed. And the only way it comes back is if you restart the game over, because I think that gives you it gives you I don't want to say limits, but it gives you consequences for your actions. If you're trying to defend the city, it raises the stakes a bit more for Godzilla. If you destroy the city stays destroyed. So I wouldn't mind actually seeing that aspect to it. And if it is destroyed, yeah, you can say yeah, people will build the city back. But honestly, if you can build a city back, it'll take you years to actually do it. So there's really no need to just have the city be built back after this kaiju battle. No, every time you have a battle, either with the military, because if you have a game like this, there are going to be people that's going to want to just destroy the city and fight the military, and then there's people that's just going to and also fight like kaiju. And then there's people that's going to be like, okay, I want to defend the city. I want to see if I can defend it. So I think also that helps too. The more you destroy a city, the more the military focus on you as a threat. But the more you defend the cities, I think the military should see about seeing you more as an ally and helping you more fight monsters rather than trying to fight you, which makes more sense. But going back to what I was saying about the environmental destruction, like I said, I would like to see if there's like a small mountain or something or some large rocks, you could interact with them, crush them, blow them up, pick them up, throw them, smack them with your tail, jump on them, And if like you're kaiju and you crawling up the mountain, say climbing up a mountain, like I would like to see that as well. There'll be different levels and stuff like that. I think that'll be pretty awesome. Again, going back towards what I was saying about having an underwater environments you can swim around in and explore. I think there should be like caves and stuff that you can go into underwater, which I think would be freaking awesome, like big valleys with vents with water bubbles coming out of it. So and like I said, go back towards the environment. Yes, if you get in a scuffle with a kaiju or something like that, and you destroying the forest and all of that, I think that's all pretty freaking cool. Now, am I looking for like the most highly detailed when it comes to actual, like, okay, if y'all fall, hit the ground, it's like a crater. Do I expect the crater to be there like 5 minutes later? Nah. But for like more significant things, yeah, just why not be able to destroy the stuff and then just stay destroyed and just reset everything after when the game is replayed. Also, like I said, island needs to be big, and I think it'd be pretty cool too if you're able to switch creatures, which could potentially affect replayability as well, because each creature experience will be different. Like there would be certain creatures that would spend most of their time in the air, and then there would be some creatures that would be spending most of the time in the water. And why not have those creatures, that's in the water, that tend to stay more into the water, end up playing the game, being able to take a different approach to the game because of their need to be in the water more. So I think that works. But yes, have a big island, creatures that can fly, you'll be able to have those creatures and play with them as well. And also, swim around the island. I think that's pretty cool too. And like I said, design it just like Just Cause 2, but make it adapted to a bigger player feel for bigger characters. Now, one of the things that should be worked on in most of these cases are the character balances. I wouldn't mind seeing like a whole plethora of creatures. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing that. And me personally, I wouldn't mind seeing the different versions of Godzilla as well. Yes, bring back the 1950s. Yeah, bring back the Godzilla 2000. Yeah, bring back the Godzilla 1999. Bring the 2014 one. Bring the Shin Godzilla that they got going on now. And I guess bring the shitty one that came off that anime, that came out the anime as well. Is all that should be unlockable. But anyways, character balancing. All the characters need to have strengths. They need to have weaknesses. I don't like creatures that have the ability to spam attacks, which is one thing I don't want to see King Ghidorah do. Keep constantly just shooting lightning. I don't want Godzilla sit here and continuously use its, heat blast or whatever it's called. I want it to be able to be built up. Maybe use like weaker versions of them, but even then have them like kind of recharge over time, and while also having like a special meter as well for like the ultimate attacks. Because when I was watching the King Kong versus Godzilla fight, which I was like, well, Godzilla's sitting here spamming his heat blast attack, and at the same time, King Kong has absolutely no way to get around it. He has no means of countering that. So we don't want to see that in the game. We want to see each creature have their specific strengths, whether it's higher defenses, higher HP, higher attack, higher speed, higher special against physical attacks as opposed to energy attacks, higher defense against energy attacks as opposed to physical attacks. Have each land environment that you're fighting in has, if that creature is more water based, let the water give them a bit more of an advantage. So the characters do need to be balanced more, and also I want these creatures to act more animalistic, because that's what they are. I don't want to see a Godzilla game where Godzilla's throwing punches. That shit's stupid. Doesn't make any sense. This ain't the 1950s. So I want to see Godzilla grapple with other creatures. I want to see him slam other creatures. I want to see him bite other creatures. I want to see all of these different movesets for these different creatures as well. And I want each creature to be a potential like badass. I don't want each one to, like I said, I want them all to have their different strengths, weaknesses, and specials. But I want each one of these characters to be balanced out, so that way, if you decide you want to play with Mothra, Mothra is actually a fucking badass in the damn game. If you're Rodan, Rodan has his advantages and stuff like that too. And also give us a targeting system. I think a targeting system is a must need. Now, I will also say this. Yes, it would be great to have multiplayer. And I think that also would kind of go into, what I was saying, where the creatures are like having fighting over territory and stuff like that, which the AI needs to be on fucking point. If anybody makes this damn game and AI is dumb as shit, so they need to be fucking just hung by the heels. There's no reason we should have a game like this and it not be awesome. You know what I'm saying? With some good, when I say good, I mean freaking awesome as AI. I want some awesome AI in this game, guys. So there's that. And like I said, I don't mind the different characters. I want the different balances. But you have a creature that has whips for arms or claws or tails. Like, I want all of them to be potential weapons in the fight. Shooting acid and stuff. Great. That's awesome too. Yes, I wouldn't mind a 1-to-4 multiplayer, and potentially have a 2 players share the same screen, like a split screen 2-player and an online 4-player. I think that'll work out the best, because I'm old school. I like my local multiplayer games. I like playing a game where we all sitting in the same room chilling and just boxing down on the game. So I think that'll be freaking worth it. Yes, split screen 2 players up to 4 players on the local on the online. I think that'll work out for everybody. And also introduce new kaiju. Don't just go back and have just the old ones. Introduce some new ones. The Muto from the 2014 was fucking awesome. Hell, bring in Godzilla. Not Godzilla. Bring in King Kong. King Kong is cross them on over. Bring them into it. Bring the damn skull crawlers. I don't know about the octopus thing. I'm on the fence about that giant octopus. And I'm on the fence about that giant snake too. But at least bring King Kong, and at least bring the freaking skull crawlers. Like, cross all that stuff over. Bring Gamera. That's his name, Gamera. Bring Gamera on over too. Cross that shit over. I want to see all of this. I want to see that. And if you like boss like that, some of these other movies where you got giant creatures, bring them on in too. Why not bring the fucking creature from Cloverfield? Bring some of the creatures from Pacific Rim. They're sitting here crossing over stuff anyway with like Injustice and fucking Street Fighter and Master Chief. I mean, the Spartans from Halo being in Soul Calibur, and all of these characters being crossed over into Mortal Kombat. So why not cross over some more of these kaiju-ish creatures and into this kaiju game. I think that'll be freaking awesome. Now, in terms of an actual story, if it's a Godzilla game, I don't really see a purpose in having a story. I mean, I guess Godzilla's got to try and stop creatures from taking over the island or something like that. I don't know about. I'm on the fence about that part. I am kind of on the fence about that part. As far as a story with actual story with a game where you playing as Godzilla, I'm not sure about. I can actually say that. Maybe I'll come back after I figure out how to come through with that. But as of right now, I really don't have an answer towards that. Now that I've said that about those characters, about that side of the Godzilla game, I'm going to talk about another side. And in this one, you're not playing as Godzilla, but Godzilla's in the story. What I think it should be the opposite. You're playing as a human being stuck on this island or in this middle of these monster battles, and you're trying to survive. Me personally, I wouldn't mind having a family, and you're trying to survive. And of course, you got to deal with the kaiju, other smaller monsters that might be affiliated with them, other people, the military, the government. I think that's how it should go. And personally, this would be one of those things I should have said, Telltale, sadly the motherfuckers closed, but anybody else should pick up a Godzilla story, a Godzilla game. This should be a good idea for a story. I mean, one of the movies that I've seen that a lot of people didn't like, and it was Cloverfield. And also, the 2014 Godzilla shares the same similarity as well. In it, in both movies, you don't see the camera's focused on the characters. So every time you see these creatures, they appear a lot bigger because you're seeing everything these creatures do from a person's perspective. And I think that's how the game should actually go. And in both of these scenarios, which I think makes them so much more compelling movies than in the original 1950s and stuff, is because you actually get to feel something for the characters, because you're watching these characters have to deal with it, especially when it comes to Cloverfield. Because in Cloverfield, you're following these people trying to survive this monster destroying this damn city. So I would like to see a Godzilla game where it's choice based. Every choice you make affects who lives, who dies, your supplies, your chances of survival, what creatures that you actually get to meet, if maybe a decision to help fight Godzilla as an enemy. Because I think also it'd be pretty good if you could actually play a fucking Godzilla game where Godzilla is just like, it's the fucking enemy. Like, he is a bad guy destroying stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like, I'm tired of everybody trying to say Godzilla this good guy and a champion of humanity and all that stuff. That's one reason that's one of the very few things I liked about the little trilogy they just dropped with the anime Godzilla, was that Godzilla was a villain and did not give a damn. And I want to see Godzilla as a villain. And I'm not saying just being a villain for the sake of being a villain. Like I say, it's an animal, and it was doing what an animal does. It's claiming its territory and it's fighting off, things that they consider potential problems or prey and stuff like that. So I want to see that. Either Godzilla's a bad guy or Godzilla is caught up in trying to fight all these damn monsters and stuff, which I think would be freaking awesome. So, but also there's a third way that I could see a Godzilla being spun, which I haven't seen anybody do. Maybe they've done it, maybe they haven't. I don't know. Maybe not. Why not have a Godzilla game as an RTS? Maybe have it to where you are the military trying to defend against kaiju. I think that would freaking work. And I mean, like I said, a lot of people probably wouldn't like the idea, but fuck them, because they had plenty of Godzilla games they could pick from. Let's try something else. But yes, I think playing games like, Ages of Empires, Civilization, Halo Wars, just all of these RTS games, I think a Godzilla game would be better suited if they could actually implement it as an RTS. You having to build these different bases, the kaijus are showing up, you have to actually defend against them, possibly pit the damn things against each other, defend against multiple ones. So there's a lot, you know, when it comes to actual. That's the Godzilla video game franchise has a lot of potential. Like I said, you can actually, I can see it as you playing as Godzilla fighting against other monsters. You playing a game of a person trying to survive encounter with Godzilla and other kaiju, or hell, like I said, an RTS would even work. Which I'm interested to see somebody do an RTS one. If I ever get the chance and ever get the rights to the franchise, and I ever have the, you know, the funding or something like that, I would actually push to try to play a Godzilla game as an RTS. Because real time strategy is where it's all at. Now, like I said, and this is definitely one of those types of franchises that's diverse enough to have that. Because think about it, you could have, you know, a base next to the water. Then the kaiju come out the water. They got to defend the base using, you know, ships and stuff like that. You have a kaiju on the land, tanks, airplanes, of course, flying kaiju. Use the Air Force, you know what I'm saying, to defend against it. So there's a lot that they can be done that can definitely be done. And hell, even think about it, popping out a Metal Godzilla. That'll be freaking awesome. You be able to build up your material and advance yourself enough to build a Metal Godzilla or Robot Godzilla. Okay, Mecha Godzilla. Yes, Mecha Godzilla. I don't know why in the hell I forgot the damn thing's name. But anyways, there is a lot that can be said about that. I think that would be freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. But I don't want to make this video too long, and I think I will utilize this as a streamlined podcast, if not anything else. Anyways, guys, in the comment section below, let me know what are your thoughts about the ideas that I've thrown out for a potential Godzilla game. Do you agree with them? Do you not agree with them? Give me your thoughts as well.